Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Wendy.
How are you?
I'm great, and you?
Very well, thank you.
On this very rainy day here?
Yeah, well, it's very overcast and supposed to be storms, but it says it will be raining showers on and off. So yeah.
Well, it's probably better than all the you were having lots of humidity, weren't you?
Oh, it's still humid. It's terrible.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's still terribly humid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'd be lost without these fans. I sit under and it's just like it's what keeps me.
Well, as you can see, long sleeve shirt for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming up to, Easter. And so it's always
gone.
Yeah, it's a blink of an eye.
We're almost 20, what is it? 29th today.
3 days till the end of March.
29th of March. What the?
Yeah. Mad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
wow.
Have a look at what's happened in the first 3 months of the year.
Well, I always did say I was taking it off, and I did.
And good on you. And like you've seen, I've had lots of tech things that I've needed to deal with, and I have to say that I am very thankful that I've been able to troubleshoot a lot of it.
Yes.
But the biggest thing is it's like the lady who leaves the ladies' room with the skirt and the skirt tucked in, the toilet paper hanging out. You've got to have someone who's got the guts to tell you that something's not working.
Yeah.
Because you don't get it. You just don't know. So
no, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And so then once I found out, I was able to go in and do the troubleshooting and make sure that everything was working as it should. So
good.
Yeah. But
that probably saved your fortune too.
Yeah. And getting my mojo back was one of those things. I'd felt so pardon me, not, how can I say, it just didn't feel like it was time to push. It felt like it was time to just allow and just ride the waves of what was going on. And ride the wave of being inspired and actually getting off my bum and doing things, which was really good. But there's so many people that I'm speaking to and people that I'm coaching that are really struggling to remain enthused in their business. And I don't know that, I know for some it's a disillusionment because of the economic climate and they're really feeling the pinch. And so that then has really watered down or put out the flame a little of what they'd love to put out there. But
well, it's a barrier for them, isn't it? It's just created a barrier. But it's not even business people, Wendy, like my clients who aren't business people. Well, some of them are, but mostly they're not coming to me for business, they're coming to me for personal, and they're lost.
I was just going to say there's a fine line between personal and business, because you've got to have your shit together personally, or be on your game personally to be able to be on your game for business,
Oh, absolutely. And many of them, and I relate to this myself, we have a passion and we can lose it. And because obviously we go through that change where we're different and we change what we want and what we like and what we're passionate about and what we want to chase after. And I am in that limbo myself, trying to figure out what gives me joy, what lights my heart, what is my passion right now.
Yeah. And we've been doing, girlfriend and I have been doing some market research in our area, with my yoga stuff happening. And one of the things, she's half my age, and one of the things that we really had to sit back and come to a landing on was, what am I prepared to pursue? And I believe that, you know, I've got the offerings, and whoever is coming my way is meant to come my way.
Yes.
But, you know, the one thing that I've been constantly on about, and that is that comparison is a thief of joy. Now, in one stream of my business, it's my essential oils. I would never, like, I'm not that person that is as eager to do the things on social media that a 30-something-year-old is wanting to do. Like,
no,
I can't let my cheeks out, or, you know, let the cleavage out, or that kind of stuff. That's just not me. But what I offer is quite different to what they offer, you know.
Absolutely.
And that is, it's that, but it comes down to where, you know, how much drive, how much mongrel you've got in you to make it happen.
And that's right. How much you've got in you to make it happen, how much you want to make it happen as well. Like, you know, we talked about earlier before this podcast, you know, I have this great business, but am I bored? I recently did a training on retreats. Did I want to go more into retreats? Was the idea of that. I was trying to find where I want to head.
Yeah.
And I've still come back shaking my head going, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
And so if you don't know, it's hard to actually bring out that mongrel, as you said, because you don't really know what it is.
And then I'm going to throw something else in there, is that, like, for me, I get to this age and I think about what I want to do in my, like, with my husband, and, you know, so a retirement type thing. What do we want to do for enjoyment? We've done the hard slog for years upon years upon years upon years. And there comes a time where you do look forward to that time where, if we want to, you know, go somewhere, that we can. Not to say that I would lose my, you know, I'd have troubles with my menopause child, my pup, leaving him alone. But you know what I mean? Like, it's having that
places where he can go.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the freedom of not having an obligation to anything else. And that's it.
Yes, that's spot on. That absolutely is the crux of it for those at our age and our point of our life. Knowing that I mean, you know, and I've tried the semi-retirement stuff. I know what it's like. And you know that I've had the last 3 months off.
Mm.
And I've become bored. I've actually, what it did was I lost my passion. I've lost my drive. I've lost my joy. And so now I've actually got to build that up and work out where I want to go again. And I will. There's no doubt that I will.
Yeah.
But with my husband, like, we talked about traveling as well. And you and I talk about this traveling all the time, and and we will do that. I'm getting some plans as to what we're doing, but it's now putting those plans in place. Yeah. And it's now actually knowing. I think one of the big things I've learnt this week, and I know we're only at Wednesday, the big thing I reminded myself that I had learnt a long time ago, but I reminded myself this week that's really important, is I have a choice. Yeah. I have a choice to do whatever I choose.
That's right. There is no right or wrong.
Yeah. And I'm not stuck there. If I make a choice, whatever choice it is, if it's not right for me, I can turn that bus around tomorrow and make a different choice.
That's right. Exactly.
And I think, and that's what I actually had a client come to me the other day. She is at retirement. She's ready to retire. She has had, 36 years or something working for this company, and she's, it's all changing for her. But is she ready to retire? She doesn't know. But I think that's when fear comes into it as well. As we both know, Wendy, fear will come into that, because we sometimes also hate to let go of what we've always had.
Absolutely. Absolutely. that is one of the key things.
Yeah.
But then the other side of that too is, you know, when we're self-employed, and we spoke about this earlier, because it's like being in business by yourself's bloody hard work.
It is.
And
it's lonely, hard work.
It's bloody lonely.
And, we're lucky we have each other Wednesdays.
Yeah. But it's even like tomorrow, I've got a function tomorrow. So tomorrow I have a reason to get up and get good clothes on, going out clothes on, to be able to show up, you know, and feel good about myself. You know, but you know, when you work from home, it's like, okay, so what are my priorities? What's easy? You know, if I've got clients, I mean, I'm smart casual every day anyway, but it's a case of, there are days where, you know, I look back at my corporate life and every day I was in a penguin suit. I was in really nice clothing every single day. And
there is something about feeling really good about yourself, isn't there?
Yeah, my oath there is. You know, and I think it's the epitome of what self-care is.
Absolutely.
Feeling good about yourself.
And I worked from home well before COVID. I, you know, was a forerunner in working from home well before COVID. And, but, you know, when I worked from home, when I was in a paid job, not my own business, I got up every day as if I was going into the office.
Oh, see, I still do that.
And I do because I've got 2 dogs and a husband that are awake at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning, and he takes them for a run. And so I have to get up because one of them actually comes back and bangs on the door because he doesn't want to go for a run and he just wants to come inside with me. So I have to get up every day. But do I make the most of that morning? Probably not. And I think that's what's then led to my becoming bored or lost passion or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I want to be really honest. I want to be really, you know, authentic about that, because it is a thing and people are finding that. And, you know, as we get an aging population, you know, more people are getting ready to retire, and the fear of retiring versus having enough money in a financially unstable environment, or, you know, world that we're all living in right now. What does that mean for me? And I don't really know. And I don't know. And I don't know how that makes me feel.
And on the other side, like, I talk to a lot of people that are looking at you know, exiting the matrix where there's all that control, and it's not a bad thing, it's a very good thing actually, and to do that, it is moving, like, there's a whole different group of people, a lot of people that are doing that where it's more, there isn't that, you know, getting dressed up to go somewhere. It is more what we do. And there's so many more people that are doing so much more online, you know. Than ever before. You know, I saw some figures that it was it's like going to be like the internet is something like $30 billion a year is what they're looking at it'll turn over. It's just between the platforms and people with their businesses, and I mean, and that's not really hard to get to that point, because when you have a look at, you've got have a look at the stores that are closing down, they're all going online.
Totally.
It's just, you know, are we being coaxed into that home life, like into not leaving the house?
Don't know. I have to say I actually don't know. You know, as I said, I've worked from home well before I even started my business, and this year in June it will be 7 years. And I've been talking to people over the last probably even 9 months that have walked away from jobs that they've busted their ass to build. Careers, I should say. They've busted it, and you and I can relate to that because we did the same. But I don't know. I really, I'm probably a little bit lost for answers right now.
And I don't think you're alone. I think there's a lot of people in the same boat.
Yeah, and I think we just have to try and do what feels right. And as you and I were talking about earlier, we're not stuck. And I love your saying, and I've been saying it a lot lately, I'm not a tree.
Yeah, you're not a tree.
I can move anytime I choose.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's actually for this week has been really powerful for me.
Yeah. Yep.
To know that as much as I haven't, there's a light shining there. And I do know that working with my business, with my people, I just love that. That is a passion of mine. That's not a passion that's going to go away. But how that looks is what I need to figure out.
It's what fills your cup. That's a passion that you have. But is it sustaining you?
Yes. And I don't know right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really honest and throw it on the table. And a lot of my listeners out there for the first time will go, what is she talking about? And basically, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where I'm. Well, I know that it's change, and change is very much on the horizon for me, but how that change even looks, I can't even tell you that.
Change is on the horizon for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's where everyone's feeling as though they're standing on a Bosey ball. You know, it's that ball that is only half the ball, and it's the half the ball on the bottom and the flat thing on the top, and you're trying to like
stand there and balance.
Yeah.
What is the balance? That's right.
Exactly. What is the balance, and how does it look long term for that person? Like, you know,
that's
for everyone.
Right. What do I really want from that?
And when we're talking about joy, we really need to be practicing, you know, the present moment. That
absolutely,
it's got to be that, and knowing deep down in your gut what is the right and wrong thing to do for you. Like, just know what it is.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Is what is right for me? What is?
There's so much programming happening at the moment. Like, there's so much stuff coming at everyone.
Yeah,
we just need to go, you know what, in my gut, what's right and wrong, and right now in this point in time, you know, what's going to bring me joy.
And I think you know, also as we talked about earlier, I'm just trying to go, well, I'm looking for signs is a big thing that I'm allowing to come into my life. And I always take signs in my life, but I'm just allowing signs to guide me a little bit right now.
Yeah.
I am putting it out there. I'm meditating. I'm doing everything I tell all my clients to do. I'm doing that myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just allowing, and it's happening. It's like I am getting these droplets of little lights in front of me so that I have a path to follow.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, I think that they're little nudges, you know.
Yeah.
But we really have to be mindful of what's in front of us, and not have blinkers on, you know, accept everything that's around us, and then make the decision as to what's going to best serve us. But it's really interesting.
What's hard for us? If it's feeling hard for me, I'm leaving it right now.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because, you know, I was speaking to you about B School, and that purpose-driven business is having something that's greater than you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have to be business.
No.
If you're feeling like shit, the best thing you can do is do something really good for somebody else, because it makes you feel amazing.
Yes.
You know?
So much joy in that. So much joy in that.
Yeah. But we've become so focused on ourselves, and that's where we get depressed, and we lose our passion, and we lose our purpose, and we don't quite know what it is. But have a look at what we give to other people, what we do for other people, and there's your passion, there's your purpose. You know,
as I said to you, and me personally, I know straight away, you know, my tribe, my people, you know, I love to spend space with them, and I'm in that space, and I'm just like bliss. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the self when you're running your masterminds, and you're, you know, down in your studio running, you know, doing one-on-one sessions. It is. It's about that. Nothing better than having a client either come into the studio or be like on a video like this. And by the end of it, you can see when they come into the space, their energy's heavy and drawn, and you know they're lost. You know they're not themselves.
No.
But by the end of that session, they have that skip in the step.
Yeah.
They have that light, that sparkle back in their heart.
And then they can give to others. Like this
Yes.
is, you know, the whole pay it forward thing. You know, we really need to be doing, you know, what we can to contribute to the greater good rather than, you know, whoa, what isn't working for me? And that's the big thing.
But it's how it works for you as well. That's the big thing. Like, just because working this way works for you today, it doesn't mean it has to work for you tomorrow.
Exactly.
And so you've got to map out, and I'm not saying you have to go out and go 12 months in advance and I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And that's what I used to do. I don't do that anymore. I very much have really pulled back into the now.
Yeah.
I'm very much living in the now.
Well, because things are changing at lightning speed. So
absolutely.
What we do, what we offer, how we offer it, you know, how we show up is always going to be fluid. It's always going to, it's going to move. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I've got, you know, a lot. So my stuff is so much more online now. Yeah. You know, I'm in the process of developing a training program, and it'll be up very shortly. And you will start to see more and more of that from me, where you can just jump online and access, you know, your training programs as much as you want.
Yeah.
And easy done. You've got access to me 24/7. And so how does that look for you? You have to, and I think that's where a lot of people are at the moment. It's actually maneuvering that map and that plan as to where they want to head.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because I know that's certainly been me. That's from a personal perspective, and some of the clients I've been working with, that's definitely us. That's definitely where we're headed.
Yeah.
And not trying to look too far ahead, because sometimes that can be really quite overwhelming as well.
Yeah, 90 days. Keep it, if you like, for me in the mastermind, I'm going like the 90-day focus is
yeah, which is great. Tell us a little bit more about the 90-day focus, Wendy. And that's sort of a methodology that you use within your mastermind program, which is actually open now. It's not too late to join. And I have been through the program myself, so it is a wonderful program. And I only just was sitting at my computer working on my website the other day, and actually yesterday working in my training program, and just feeling so much gratitude for the fact that I had done the mastermind last year, how I've just taken so much away with me that will stay with me now forever.
Yeah, yep. And you know, that's the beauty of it, is everyone just needs just that little bit of not push in the right direction, but they just need support. I was
going to say support is probably what I would more say.
Yeah, it's support and it's guidance. It's just you know, I've hit a roadblock. What do I do next? It's having other people's like eyes on, you know, where you're at and what needs to happen next. So the 90-day is about, you know, you can birth something in 90 days. Right. So determining what it is, creating it, promoting it, and then, you know, delivering it. And that's your 90-day plan. And
it's just under 3 months, depending on the months.
Yeah, yeah,
but,
exactly.
You know, that is that's pretty incredible stuff, Wendy.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, one of the big things is that and I know people are getting bombarded in inboxes are
we talked about that last week, didn't we?
They should be treated with absolute respect.
Yeah.
Because it's a privilege for someone to give you their email.
Yeah.
But that email list is the asset for your business. That's your tribe. That's how you communicate, because we have no control over social media at all. And we can't even guarantee that people are seeing what we post. So,
exactly.
It's just a matter of, helping people to get to that point. And everyone deserves a taste. So everyone will get access to, your customers, your clients, will get access to a little bit of you for nothing, because
and that's what I say when anyone joins up with anything, whether it's a freebie or whether it's a paid event or training program, I don't spam you because I can't stand spam myself.
Exactly.
And you and I have both been talking in the last few weeks about the amount of extra emails in our inbox. All it's made me do was unsubscribe.
Exactly. I've got one in particular that has ramped up, and because it's to do with one of the platforms that I'm with, but it's ramped up, and I'm getting like anywhere between 5 and 8 emails a day.
Wow.
And so I've had to raise a ticket to say I can't unsubscribe because of this reason, but this is getting to the point of abuse. This is abusing.
I'd be interested to see what they come back and say.
Yeah, this is abusing that privilege.
Yeah, well, it is a privilege.
It is. My oath, it is.
You wouldn't go and knock on someone's door 5 times a day.
Yeah, but it's in everything. Like, when you're genuine in what you do, people know you're there.
That's right.
You don't have to keep hammering and hammering
No.
because when you do that, it comes off as desperate. Sorry, it does.
No, we both had that conversation last week.
I'm desperate for sale. I'm going to hammer you with, 3 and 4. And, but yeah, when you're coming from the right place, and this is what the mastermind's about. It's not having the tech. Now, when you join some of those, when you're implementing tech for your business, there are those applications that say, put your stuff in here, and this is how we do it. We're going to send this here, and then we're going to send one at 12 hours out, and one at 6 hours out, and one at 3 hours out, and one at 2 hours out, one at 1 hour out, one at half an hour, one at 15 minutes. Like, seriously?
It's like, stop.
Exactly. They aren't the platforms I'm promoting in the mastermind, because
that's exactly right. Yeah.
They are the people that will have you have such a high turnover, a high attrition rate,
True.
that natural attrition, where you might go out and get, 50 leads into your business, 50 emails into your business, you spam like crazy and you lose 60.
That's exactly right. Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
That's I think it's the mastermind is absolutely so unique. There is a lot of online stuff out there that you can go and I'm not going to be the guru that's going to say, I'm going to take you to 7 figures and, I'm going to have you the best course in 30 days or whatever that shit. I don't do that. What I do is make sure that you don't feel the loneliness in business, that you don't feel the challenges are too great, that you don't have someone who is a little bit tech savvy that can help you iron out those issues, that you have a regular eyes on your business. So you've got other people in the mastermind to cast their eyes over, so that when you're writing copy, you can pass that off and say, can you have a look over this and make sure, because none of us that are in, well, I shouldn't say that, none of us in small business. But there's a lot of people that are starting out, a lot of people that just don't have the money for a proofreader. They don't have the money for a tech guy, a social media professional, like all this stuff. They don't have the money for, which I try to offer in. And like I said, I'm no guru, but I'm going to give you real experience. I'm going to give you what I know, and it's worked. It just does work. And when I see what came out of the mastermind last year, as far as new websites and landing pages and freebies that were given out to people. Like, my goodness, it was absolutely successful. Yeah. And so to run it again, and it's only starting this weekend because it wasn't the right time. You have a look at how we were bombarded in the last 3 months.
Yeah,
it was not the right
many
time.
times, didn't we?
Yeah. Everyone was coming from a place of desperation.
Yeah.
And that place of desperation needs to be, you know what, we need to stop the noise. And there's been so noisy.
Yes.
I wasn't going to go out there and compete with that noise.
No.
That you need to be able to stop the noise, come into a safe space. It's a container that really does allow you to excel in productivity. Like, you actually get shit done.
Yes. If you're starting out in your business, or you're online, you're already in you might be established in your business, but your online presence is it needs some love. The mastermind certainly, well, more than likely is probably for you. Yeah. And I have a soul membership, which is similar, but it's actually not for the business, it's for the personal. So
it's for the soul.
We've got those both covered.
Yeah. Yep.
So
tell us a little bit about your soul membership. What do you?
Oh, look, it's my soul membership is just it's a little bit your business perspective. It's that nurturing and online community, because that's what our mastermind was about. It was about one of the big things that I took away, apart from knowledge, the learning, the support from Wendy, and the motivation, was the community. And that's what my soul membership offers you on a personal level, is community. Yeah. And so community is a really big thing. And I think we're all looking for that right now. Like,
that's the loneliness that everyone's feeling. It's that being able to connect somewhere and have somewhere where you feel like you fit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you're out there listening to this and you do have, an oil business or a holistic business, could be anything at all, because what Wendy teaches is pretty much in general. You can start from scratch with her if you want, or you can already be having your website done and you just want to enhance it or rebuild it, or maybe that transformation of yourself.
That's right.
And that's like my soul membership. If you want to, go on that journey of self-love and self-care, that's a place where you can join and be there. And we're not just about promoting our own stuff here, but we just like to let you know that there are options, if you like listening to us and you like to join our journey, because we are real, and we also offer those support mechanisms to help you.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it's about us being real is we're going to pass on our experiences. And what you're going through right now and what I've been going through, it's real, and people can identify with that, and it changes and allows people to feel okay that they may be going through the same.
Absolutely. And when you actually have that, you can, and Wendy was saying, she even picked it up on me this morning. I was excitement. I have a little bit of a mud map at the moment. It's not a full mud map. And as I said, I keep being really focused on in the now. But I do have a little bit of a vision. And I will release that in a few weeks. But at the moment, I'm just in the process of, slicing off the edges and putting it into my box so that it'll fit the way I want it to be.
Yeah.
And that does still include travel with my hubby. That does still include buying our van that we've been talking about for quite some time.
I'm dying to see this van.
I'll have to see this. Actually, after this, I'll show you some.
Oh.
And why do we choose it? Like, everyone we talk to, like when you read all the reviews, they're all going, oh, we don't want a small van, blah, blah, they're too small, you can't pack everything. But for me, especially given I've started to have some big clean outs that Wendy, and then they took me quite some time to actually cull and release, which was a big thing. And this has all been part of my personal transformation. Is I don't want to have all that crap with us. I want to go, well, what minimalistic stuff can I take?
Yeah.
that's easy. And hubby said today, because I said to him this morning, we were talking about it, and I said, you know, but when we go gold panning, because we're going to go and do some gold panning, and you know, and I said, what are you going to do with your sleuth? He said, well, for a start, it's not called a sleuth. I went, well, whatever it's called. What are we going to do with that? It won't fit in the van. He goes, well, you know, we'll just buy a little tiny trailer and we'll just pull a trailer. So there's always a solution.
Yeah. So is it a mobile home that you're buying?
No, it's a camper van.
Oh.
So it's got shower and toilet and everything in it.
But it's
inside kitchen, outside kitchen, awning.
But it's not a caravan as in tow.
No, it's not a caravan. No.
Yeah.
We've had 5 caravans. We're done with that.
Yeah.
So we'll have
put a trailer on the back. It's like, okay, it's got to be a motor, a motorhome.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Yeah. So, but it's a camper van with, think of actually, this is the easiest way to describe. It's not a Ford Transit, but think of a Ford Transit van.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. It's not as high and it's not as long. And it's got seating for our grandchildren, which is important for us.
Yeah.
And it has a king bed in it, or a queen bed it might be. And the grandson can sleep on the floor or in his seat. Like that makes out to a bed. And there's not a lot of room. But we talked about it and we went, well, if we're out and about travelling, we're probably going to be outside or travelling anyway.
Yeah.
And when we used to have a tent, we didn't worry about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, we have had all different size caravans, and we've had camper trailers, and we've sort of, you know, as I said, this will be number 6. So, it's right for us now. Yeah. Whether it's right for us in 5 years, I can't tell you that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's right for us now. It means, you know, Friday we can jump in the van and take off and come back on Sunday, or we can go during the week. We can do whatever we want. We're not stuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's like,
and it fits in our garage, just like a normal vehicle. It fits in a normal car park, so I can drive it and we can go to the supermarket.
Yeah, you're not full on having to, you know, pack everything. And
is it something you would travel Australia in? I don't know. If you can be a minimalist, yes.
Oh, look, I've got a girlfriend who's doing exactly that.
Yeah, and I just
she's got a Toyota. Was it Toyota Hiace? Or smaller than a coaster, way smaller than a coaster. And she's decked that out. She bought it without the decking in there, and she decked it out. She's in West Australia at the moment. She'll be on the move again, so I'll get to see her sometime next year.
Well, we said, you know, we talked about not having, obviously you've got a lot less clothes that you can take with you, a lot less stuff, all stuff. And I said to her, you know, we talked about the shower's only tiny, but, you know, you really need to just lick yourself off, and, you know, as long as you're getting clean, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then once a week or once a fortnight, we'll just go and book into a motel, or, you know, like a accommodation, like a self-contained unit. We can do our washing. We can have a 2-hour shower. No, you know, we wouldn't do that, but, you know, we can go and do that stuff if we're going to do a big trip. Like, it's a bit like life in general. We can make it all too hard, or we can make it easy.
You can always do an outdoor shower, like the pull-up shower.
It's got an outdoor shower as well.
Yeah, so you're going to be fine. Like when you go to, on the banks of a beautiful river. Yeah, and you can put that out there, and you've got a hot, like that's straight exactly away, right. Like just and around the fire, and it's beautiful.
I know,
and it's minimalist living. It's just exactly what you just said. It's just bloody simple.
Yeah,
it's not complicated at all.
No, and a lot of the reviews that we had were saying, you know, it's really hard if you want to go to town or you want to go to the shops or whatever. We'll have our electric bikes, but even if it's not, it's a little van. It takes how long to pack up, chuck your chairs in, chuck your bikes in, and off you go.
Yeah.
And we don't know until we try it anyway.
Exactly. exactly. It'll be good.
Yes.
It'll be a great experience.
But like anything, you know, and see how I've just spoken about that.
And the excitement that just oozed out of
There's
you.
passion.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
That's it.
so passion comes in all shapes and forms, and you just have to try and figure out where you're at.
Yeah.
And we are all. I actually had this vision this morning, very much showing me the crossroads. We're all at crossroads right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all you can do is take every day and every moment and embrace that crossroad.
And don't lose sight of the present moment. Like, don't be thinking that, you know, whatever you do, that it can't be undone, like that you can't change things.
Yes.
Because, you know, that's the big thing. People feeling stuck because they're stuck. And they,
Yep.
you know, at the end of the day, you aren't you're not your bank balance, you're not your house, you're not your kids, you're not your car,
No.
you're not any of that. Strip it all back and just be.
Yeah. Just it is. It's just like rolling all those layers back. You know, we're continually, when we're healing, and I believe we're always continually healing anyway, but when we're healing, you know, you're doing the healing work, you're just peeling away those layers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've just because you have a dream, I had a comment made to me, if I was to change direction in my business, would I be embarrassed that it failed? And I went, but it hasn't failed.
Exactly.
It's been a success.
Yeah.
So
Look,
however I changed direction, I did that. I can tick that box.
Yeah. Yeah. I could tell you a story about that. I used to have a bricks and mortar business, and the wool industry was going south, like it was dropping. And that meant that what my business was the first thing that wasn't actually a real need. So it was the one that suffered. I was in a small town. I could have quite easily just kept struggling and throwing money at it.
But why?
But instead I closed the doors, and Glenn and I went traveling with, he was still shearing then, you know, and we went off, and that was like liberation. It was like, you know what, I don't give a hoot what people think.
Yeah.
But this is like,
But
I'm doing what's right for me and for my family. Like, it was just, but a lot of people would stay there because
they're worried about what someone
and
else
you
might
know,
think.
oh look, I'll just see it out until it sells or whatever. Who was going to buy something that was already not failing? It was already, it just didn't have the turnover that it used to have.
Well, it just didn't have a future.
Yeah, well,
at that stage,
because
like the future now would probably be blooming.
Exactly, but you know, because business will go on an ebb and flow. It will go. It
just was in the now, in that now space,
peaks and valleys.
Yeah,
and we were heading into a valley, and I could have stayed there till I got to the peak, and I just went, oh, I don't want to do that.
But I think success is making that decision.
Yeah,
to say, I'm actually not going to fail by hitting rock bottom.
Yeah, I'm going to cut my losses now. And I'm going to do what's right for me and my family. And me and my family.
I love that. I absolutely.
The focus was on the family unit. Like Glenn was having to go away for work, and I would have had to, if I hadn't have done what I did, I would have had to stay at home by myself with the two kids. And I went, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go back to what we were doing before. And what we were doing before was we all got in the car and we all left and we all went and did what we needed to do.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, and I don't regret one day of it, not one day.
Yeah, memories forever, Wendy. That's it's a bit like this morning. I actually did a post for my soul membership, and it was about you know, just decluttering and removing all that stuff that we purchase. You know, stuff like, I just look around my office, got all the stuff, pillows. And how has all that stuff probably changed or stopped memories that you could have created
Yes.
that was so valuable.
Yeah.
Like you traveling, you guys traveling. What did that do for you? One, as a family, but two, for your young children, and three, for you guys as a couple, because you actually walked away from something that was not going to have. And like, you could have kept going the way you were, but how was that going to make you feel in the end? That was going to crush your confidence.
Yeah, not just that. I was done being lonely.
Yeah, that's right.
I was, I did a lot of years of raising my kids on my own.
Yes.
And I was just done with it. I was like, no, this is not what I signed up for. Before I had the shop, it came to that time of year and we would just pack the kids in the caravan, put the caravan on, put the kids in the car, and we'd go.
Yeah.
Nothing
and then, better, is there? Nothing better.
And that's why I quite often look at my life now and think, oh my Lord, we have have a look at how stayed put we've been, and how, that's where that drive, that desire to get that motorhome and get on the road again is. And not, I don't mean go for months at a time. I mean, if we want to go and go, if we want, well, it could be months at a time. If we want to, jump in and go down and see all of our friends down in New South,
that's right,
Vic, we can,
And that's what I said to Rob. If we want to, wait for our grandson to finish school on a Friday afternoon and pack him up and pick him up from school and off we go, we can do that.
Yeah. But for me, there's been a change then of what my big vision, like I have this huge vision of changing the state of healthcare here in Australia. I want to have that place where people can go and they can, they can have access to all the different modalities. But I need to get that set up, and I need someone quite capable of being able to take that up. Now, is that putting my dream onto somebody else?
Possibly, who knows?
Yeah, and so that's where it's a little bit of conflict there. I've got to, and I've been sitting with that to work out, because it's my dream, does it have to be anyone else's?
And no,
exactly.
But somebody else may want to help you fulfill that dream as well. So we never know. We can't just assume that someone else doesn't want to come and go, hey, well, you go off and do what you need to do and I'm here.
Yeah.
You don't know. So I guess you just got to do what feels good in your heart at the time. And you can always, as we keep saying, you can reverse up, you can back out, you're not a tree.
You can move.
That's right.
You can get up and move.
You can take it all to a brand new level.
That's right.
And if your heart's not in something, you really have to reassess what you're doing. Yes.
That's I think you're doing a disservice to your clients when your heart's not in it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got to be honest with yourself first.
Yeah.
And that can be a very hard choice because it may seem like a failure.
Mm-hmm.
In actual fact, if you're not being true to yourself, that's a failure. Yeah.
And doing what brings you joy, what you know to be right in your heart to do.
That's right. If you're, we both know, if you're in a job that you hate, you're doing it because, and I've been there where I've had in my mindset that I had to be in this job to pay my mortgage. I've got a mortgage, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And people are going to be probably smashing me for this, going, oh, you don't understand. Well, yeah, I do. Interest rates were like 19%. They got up to 21 if you weren't in a bank. And we were there. We had it. We weren't with a bank.
Yeah.
And I do know what it's like. And I do know what that feeling of feeling trapped, of doing something that I had to do because I'd committed to something. And if I didn't make changes that were going to be for the better good of me, I would feel like a failure.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I think that's probably one of the big things of when we moved was when we moved from the country to the city. I wasn't coming. At the start, I wasn't coming at all.
Right.
And it was at 11 o'clock on that particular day. And I said, okay, I was supposed to work that night at a restaurant. And Glenn just said, you got to make a decision because I'm leaving at 1. I was like, okay, I'll throw some things together for the kids and I, and we'll be in the car. And that's how it happened.
Oh, right. See, and sometimes they can be the best. Like I always used to say, a party, like we used to have lots of parties as we were younger, and you know, up even through while our girls were growing up. It was nothing for us to just to have, we had entertained all the time, we had visitors all the time, we had parties all the time, and it was just, life was fun. And it was nothing for us just to have that random party, and they were the best parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, where you just made the decision and you did it.
Well, and that was a major decision. that was it uprooted our whole,
best major decision ever.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. You know, I still love home and I still miss it, and I still go home, you know, and you know, mum and dad are buried there. So I'm due for another trip to go out now. And but it will always be a special place because it's where I raise my kids.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, like I couldn't imagine, like I have a look at what we do here, and you know, for how even Glenn's grown, you know.
Yeah.
He was a shearer to an electrician, so you know what I mean, like, and what happened along the way for him to get to that point.
That's exactly right.
You know, I have a look at the kids and what they've achieved, and you know what they've got going on for them right now.
Exactly right.
I don't know that those same opportunities would have been on offer.
Oh, look, and I, you know, both my daughters are doing extremely well, and they make me both so proud. I love my youngest has packed up and they decided they were going to live in Queensland for 12 months. So obviously over 12 months now.
And they're still here. Go Queensland.
I don't know that they'll come home, but anyway, that's a whole new story. She keeps telling me they will. They're about to buy a place up there, but she keeps telling me they will. They'll just rent it out. So whatever she wants to do is her choice.
Up here, see, you need to move up here.
But see, we can do what we want in our van. We can go where we want.
Yep.
That's the beautiful part about it. We can actually go where we want.
Yeah. Yep. And there's nothing to say that you can't get up here and decide that you're just going to get a cabin that's somewhere beautiful and you're going to stay there for a couple of months. Like there's nothing to say any of that.
Actually, a month ago, I said to Rob, let's move to Norfolk Island. Rob goes, what?
Oh, man.
But I'm that kind of person as well. That's it. I want change. I'm ready for change, and I'll take change.
Yeah.
Lots of people can't. And my husband is the opposite.
Yeah.
So here's an example. My husband and I have been mindfully eating at the moment because we both need to lose some weight. Well, we don't need to lose weight. We need to actually change our lifestyle because we had got into a really bad habit of eating terrible food and just not looking after ourselves.
And you've got to be mindful too. You don't want to lose weight because then you've got to find it again. That's right.
Exactly. It's actually about feeling better, how we feel. Like we're both excited about feeling better.
Yeah.
And it's funny, he has the same thing over and over and over and over. And I say to him, how do you do that? I need every single, whether it's a meal or a snack, it has to be different. Not necessarily from the day before, but then what I have just had. But he quite happily will have the same thing. He will just blows me away. Yeah. But he doesn't like change either. He doesn't cope with change at all.
Yeah. Okay.
He very happily, I know he's going to be traveling and it's because of me. He would be happily staying here in the house every day the rest of his life till he died. pottering, taking the dogs for a ride up the back, into the paddocks, up into the hills, playing his Candy Crush, coming back, pottering in his big garage, fixing things. I don't have anything else to say.
Oh, do you know that there's yin and yang, don't you?
Well, it works.
It does work. Yes. On that note, we might say see you next week.
It doesn't get much rawer than that, does it?
Oh, authenticity guaranteed.
And I love him to death. There you go.
So don't forget to follow us on our socials. like
Check
and
us out.
subscribe. Yes.
And if there's something that you want us to talk about, let us know. You know, we're really open to that.
It could be like today.
Because otherwise we'll take you down a rabbit hole you haven't seen before.
See you later.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.